So, we are talking about, this is again 4.7, and we're talking about absolute value of inequalities. There are two ways to solve these inequalities based on if it's a less than problem or a greater than. In other words, based on what it begins with. For example, okay, so if you have a less than or equal to, or you have a greater than or equal to, or just a greater than, or just a less than. So let's back up here to number 1. If you have a less than or equal to, you are going to set yours up as a what? Compound inequality. Okay? If you have a greater than or less than, then you're going to change that absolute value to 2 equations. Okay? Now, let me write one up here, and we're going to write it. Okay? So, if you have absolute value, here I go again. It's been fine since yesterday.
I guess it just really doesn't matter.
It must not. Absolute value of x plus 1 is less than 2. Okay? So it begins as a less than. So how are we going to write this out? A less than we are going to write as what? Huh? Compound inequality is less than. Okay? How do we do that? Well, you're going to drop the inequality signs and you're going to have x plus 1. You're going to bring down this less than 2. You're going to put a less than sign here and a negative 2. In other words, you put the positive 2 here and then a negative 2 there. Okay? That's for less than. And then you solve by subtracting 1 from both sides. Negative 2 plus a negative 1 is a negative 3. Less than x, that cancels. Less than 2 plus a negative 1 is just a positive 1, and that is your answer. Okay? Questions on that? That makes sense? Kind of. All right, we'll practice some more. Let's look at another one. Let's say that we have absolute value of 2x. I'm sorry, not 28. But the absolute value of 2x is less than 4. Okay? This is a less than, so you're going to write it as a compound inequality, right? All right, so you're going to bring down what you have inside of the inequality signs go in the middle, okay? Which is this right here, 2x. Okay, so then you're going to bring down the sign. You're going to put another exact same sign on the other side. You're going to bring down this 4 on this side. Back in the front, you're going to change that 4 to a negative. Does everybody understand that? Yeah. Okay. So basically, you're bringing down what's on the inside of the inequality signs. Okay, so 2x goes to the middle. You write the same inequality sign here and the same one here. You bring this number down here. You take that number, you write it in the front but with a negative. And then you solve, okay? So I'm going to divide everything by positive 2 to get the 2 out of the middle, right? That gives me a negative 2 is less than x less than 2. Okay? How's that? Fair? Okay. All right, so this time we have a greater than sign. This is a greater than sign. Okay? When I have a greater than, I'm going to write 2 equations, right? And basically you're doing the same thing but different, okay? So I'm going to drop the inequality signs Get rid of these. I'll put it in red so you know they're going bye-bye. You're going to bring this down. You're going to have 2x minus 1 equals another 2x minus 1 equals. On one of these, then you're going to bring this number down here. And then on the other one, you're going to bring that number down, but it's going to be a negative. And we did these before. Okay? Well, actually, I'm wrong. This is not equal. It should be the inequality sign, which is greater than. My bad. Okay?
Do you switch the sign on the other one?
Oh, yes, you do switch the sign. Thank you. When you change this to a negative, you switch the sign. So, when you're having two equations, let me just back up here and just refresh because I'm confused. You bring down the inside, which is this, and you set it up just like this. Okay? You bring down the inequality sign just like it is with a positive 3 for one. The other one, you change the inequality sign and make the other number a negative. And then you solve. So plus 1 plus 1. 2x is greater than 4. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X is greater than 2. Or plus 1 plus 1. 2x is less than negative 3 plus positive 1 is a negative 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X is less than negative 1. So that this is your answer here. Okay? Got that? Technically, you could take this answer here and then write your answer in the final compound inequality form, but we're not, I don't want to cause more confusion than we have. All right? Let's do another one. Okay, so we have an absolute value.
We did that one.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? It should be 5. Okay, so let's change this to a 5. Okay, yeah, that's right. All right, so you have the absolute value of 2x minus 1 is greater than 5. Greater than sign is you're going to do greater, you could think of it as like, okay, it's going to be greater because I'm going to do 2 equations this time. Okay? Greater for 2 equations. So, again, I'm going to drop the absolute value sign and bring down the first equation just exactly the way it's written without the absolute value. Or I'm going to bring down the first part, 2x minus 1. I'm going to switch the absolute value sign and make the number negative. And that's the 2 ways you're going to write it. Okay? Now let's solve these. So I'm going to add 1, add 1. That gives me 2x greater than 6. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X is greater than what? 3. Thank you. Add 1, add 1. 2x is less than what? Negative 4. Okay, what am I going to do next, Miss Riley? Yep, I'm going to divide by 2. I think you just said that, didn't you? I read your mind. All right, negative 4 divided by positive 2 is a negative 2. So here's your answer. And you would write x is greater than 3 or x is less than a negative 2. Yes.
Are those things?
Okay, everybody go to page 148.
But what if we like didn't?
Okay, so page 148. This is what you're going to do. Page 148. You're going to do the practice, of course.
Practice 4.7. Let's do 1.
Okay, you're going to do 1 through
2.
You can do 1 through 10. Yep, 1 through 10 all. Okay, 1 through 10 all. No, all.